All right, here I am walking around one of many well-developed Northern Virginia neighborhoods. But if you look through sometimes, through the trees and in different areas, like you might be able to catch parts of an old house over there. That is, I believe it's called the Smoot or Smoot House during the Civil War. And that was General Smith's headquarters while part of the Union Army of the Potomac was camped on and around these hills in the winter of 1861-62. I think you're familiar with the idea that there are a ring of forts circling Washington increasingly as the war goes on. And behind those forts, you have sort of army camps. And at this sprawling Camp Griffin is, among other units, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th Vermont, destined to be one of the most blood-soaked regiments of the entire Civil War. You could argue it is the most blood-soaked regiment of the Civil War. One difference about those Vermonters that they had a photographer that was with them named G.W. Houghton. And George Houghton and his crew and his friend Larkin Meade recorded a whole bunch of photos out here, more than a dozen. And that's a lot for a Civil War camp. Taken around here, you've got things showing like Brooks's headquarters and Hancock's headquarters and a battery and musicians gathered. And a particular famous photo that in not too many steps from now, we're going to reach. So you have to sort of look behind the houses and picture some of the rolling hills around here. And it is this hill I'm going up right now that photographer Houghton chose to record this particularly famous photo. That's not the only one. In fact, while we're walking there, I'll show you. Here's one, and here's another one, and here's another one, and another one actually taken here at Camp Griffin. So you got lots of options, but at some point he set up his rig right on this hill. I predict it's probably in that hedge. I'm not going to go over there because this is private property, but I will walk over here to very close to the spot where this was taken and go like this. I'm going to raise my camera up a little bit because he was a little higher. I'm going to point it like this. You can see a hill in the foreground there, and I can see the rising ground in the background. And right where that hedge is, right there, it hides a group of boulders that is still there to this day and that sticks out very well into the photos as well. Now, while we walk down there and I give you a closer view of that hedge, just note that that also became the scene of two different photos of the musicians actually there. So while we walk down, let me show you yet another picture of Camp Griffin. Let me show you another one that actually shows his friend Larkin Meade. Let me see if I have one where I can even show you the photographer as well. And this will just give you an idea of one particular camp that was actually here during the Civil War. I mean, this one isn't notable for any particular reason other than that it was photographed. And because these boulders, by the way, right here, you can line up the spot. Now, I did not figure out this location. God, I'll put his name up here. He put it on a website many years ago, and I've always wanted to come, and today is the day. Although this photo is famous because it adorns the front cover of Ken Burns's book, it might actually be even more famous for another reason, or at least have more eyeballs. For if you have keen eyes yourself and you start zooming in onto one of the most popular television shows of all time, Seinfeld, you will see this photo sitting there in Jerry's apartment, right past George, Elaine, and Jerry talking all this time. There sits that photo, and I'm still not done yet. For the photographer of this photo, George Houghton, actually eventually moved to Wisconsin. He's going to do photo operations there at the Wisconsin Dells, and he will be buried in a now unmarked grave, unfortunately, just steps from the grave of the famous Confederate spy Belle Boyd. And to finish up this story, in the Wisconsin Dells, some 7 or 8 decades later, yours truly was conceived. Thanks for watching, for supporting battlefield preservation and education, and for indulging me in this crazy story.
Hello, this is Trace Atkins. To stay up to date on all the latest and coolest videos, please subscribe to the Trust's YouTube channel. Preserve, educate, inspire.